Thank you. Good to be here, and last speaker before the lock knot. So excited about it. Didn't realize how tough conferences could be in terms of your mental ability. My Fitbit has just been telling me I've been running since lunch, which I haven't. I was just sitting there. So connecting 7 databases in 15 minutes. The talk is the time allocated for the talk is 25 minutes. Just in case you're wondering what the 10 minutes are for, I'm just going to talk about myself. I'm going to market myself. So, nah, not going to happen. So that's me. So I work at Bankwest. The part of my role is to take care of our Kafka instance, pretty much a DevOps role. That's it. And I just put the photo up there, just in case you want to see me without beard, just in case. Cool. So, and I'm a proud father of a son, 8 months old, who loves quantum computing. He loves quantum computing. I'm kidding. He'll just eat any book that he gets, so he's not into quantum computing. But I'm going to use him as an example in the slide, so hopefully we'll get there. So intro and agenda, what we're going to do, I'm going to introduce what Kafka is, then we're going to talk about, I just have to read, I forgot, abstractions, or my favorite component in Kafka, which is Kafka Connect. I'm just quickly going to talk about the architecture, and then the architecture of my demo, and then we'll get into the demo. So talking about demo, how many of you have actually worked on AWS for more than 6 months? Raise your hands. Good. If I get stuck, please help me. This is my second week. OK, how many people have worked on Kafka? You guys are not allowed to ask questions today, so that's the ground rule. No questions from you guys. Nah, it's OK. So feel free to ask me questions. So what is Apache Kafka? So if you don't Google just Kafka, there's a dude who's like very famous, he comes up, don't do that. Actually look for Apache Kafka, which is the technology we're going to talk about. So Apache Kafka is a event streaming architecture. So if I have to put that into perspective from a living example, our lives are events. So for example, my son was born. Now, he started going sideways. He started going on his tummy. He started started crawling. He's going to walk, talk, run, blah, 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 more and more and more and more. Who knows, right? But that's a series of events. We can't go back in the time and change things. Can we? Unless you have a time machine. If you do, remind me to buy Apple and AWS shares, maybe, and I will give you half the money. But that's how eventing works. So that's a series that we are building on. So I did pick up a sentence. So it's just pretty much a few words I picked up, which helps me define what Kafka is. So it's immutable. So if once you have created an event in Kafka, you can't really go and modify it. So if something has changed, you just push a new event into Kafka. And then it's a distributed commit log. Anybody who doesn't like logs? Anyone? No? Come on. Do you like logs? Oh, OK. You don't like logs. OK. I love logs. And I guess to help troubleshoot, I guess that's the best thing and best place to go for. We can have a chat, I guess, why you don't like it. Maybe I can convince you to start liking them. But overall, that's what Kafka is. So it's a immutable distributed commit log. And then the unit where we write in Kafka is topics. So if I have to define a topic, think of it as a table where you can only do an insert. You can't do an update to you. So if you have a table where you can't do delete, you can't do update, you can only do inserts. So that's a comparison of what a topic is from a database perspective. Yep. So far, so good? Yes, no, maybe? Last presentation, interaction, come on, bet. OK, fine, your call. So that's how the data gets appended. Data gets appended always towards the end of the topic, and then you keep going, and it could be a never-ending topic as well. So, and apparently people do that. So the beauty of that is that because the events are immutable, you can have your different consumers running at different pace. So you might have an application that's dead slow. It's on record, I don't know, number 3, and a fast application, a modern application that's already gone on 8 and 9, and that's OK. The functionality that Kafka provides with its API is that one of them die. That's fine. They come back at the same point. And they don't have to maintain that state on their own as well. Yeah? Convincing? Yes? Yes! That's good. Cool. So if I haven't convinced you enough, so that's what in a nutshell Kafka is. Cool. So jumping on next, abstractions. So some of us are like really, really hardcore engineers. You love coding. There's so much code going on. We just want to do everything on our own. I'm not that. Nowhere near. So if there is a library, there is an abstraction, if I can use it, it works for my use case, I'll grab it in an instance. So if you have to connect to Kafka, you can do via core APIs. You have to write a lot of code, maintain a lot with yourself. The next one is Kafka Streams, where you get a bit more functionality out of the box, and then you can do a lot of transformations with it on the fly as well, if you want. And then the next level of abstraction is Connect APIs. So Connect pretty much is used to get data from in and out of a database, and I love Connect. And if there isn't a connector available, you can pretty much use its APIs, but most likely there isn't going to be a connector that you can't find. Connect itself is a component where the code is entirely written for you. You just install the connectors on it. So that's the whole demo about. I love Connect. If you want to have more conversations about Connect, I can talk all day about Connect. But today's demo is going to be all about Connect. So and then REST proxy, if your system can't communicate in any way, you can just publish REST proxy. You can publish REST calls to REST proxy, and it will write it to Kafka for you, or you can do a read from it as well. KSQL DB is the highest level of abstraction I can think of. So where you can write queries directly on your stream. So if you have a stream of data where data is just coming in, and if you want to check if a fraud is happening. So for example, in last 2 minutes, if the last 1 minute, a same card has been used to transact 3 times, something like that, and that's all good. You just need to write one SQL query to do it. So that's the power we're talking about. Bear in mind, higher up you go, less control you get, because the features are already built for you. You are just using them. You're not actually creating it. Yeah. So if you're happy with that, level of abstraction, then you're with me, and we're going to talk about Kafka Connect. So what Kafka Connect in a nutshell really is, it's like these Java APIs. So Kafka is all about Java, and most of the code is just Java and a bit of Scala maybe. So in Connect API, all the Java files are already there for you. What you really do is you just push the configs to connect and say, hey, this is my database. This is how I want you to transform the data. This is where I want you to put my data, and that's it. Forget about it. So that's what we're going to do. So basically, there are 2 types of connectors: a source connector, where you're getting data from a database into Kafka. Yeah, straightforward. And then you have sync connectors, which is pretty much if you're trying to get data from Kafka into a database. Yep, cool. So this is pretty much on a high level what my architecture looks like. I have EC2 instance, which is running a platform called Confluent that ships with all the dependencies that Kafka requires, like Zookeeper, Kafka, and we're going to talk a bit more about them. And then we're going to build source and sync connectors on top of it to get data from all these different databases. I mean, Kinesis is not really a database, or CSV is not really a database, but just wanted to put some new and some old stuff that you have to. So, and then we're going to put all that into S3. Yeah? Cool. Demo time. Hopefully it works. So there's 2 ways you can, OK, so before that, so this is my EC2 instance. So OK, so windows we're going to use are, so I have my terminal where I have just SSH'd into an EC2 instance where my Kafka is running. I'm going to use code where my actual configurations for all these connectors are written. They are on my EC2 instance as well, but it has passwords and everything, and you really don't want to know my password one. So hopefully, and then I'll show you my configs here, and then we have S3 open here, as well as we have a Oracle SQL open here, so that we can actually push data into Kafka, or into the database so that Kafka can pick it up. Yep, all good? Cool. So before I jump on, I'll just make sure everything is running. Cool. So from bottom to top, Zookeeper, if you are into distributed systems, if you have 2 databases, you're going to hate Zookeeper. But it pretty much takes care of who's doing what, leader election, and all that. Kafka is what we already talked about. Then we have Schema Registry, which takes care of your schemas. All the data I'm getting into Kafka today, Connect is going to create schemas for them. And then if you change the schema, it can pretty much pick up the changes for you as well. And then REST API, which we're not going to use, and then connect is pretty much what we're actually going to use. There's control center where you can do lots of logging, where you can see everything on the fly. But again, we're not going to use that as well. So without further ado, so I have some files here. Not kidding. So there you go. And then let's look at some configs. Cool. So the first one up is Oracle connector. So what I had to do for that is I have to name it. What are you going to be called? I have to give the connector class. So I've done a few cheats here. I wouldn't recommend actually using a JDBC source connector at different places, depending on your use case, especially not the way I have done it, but it works. Yeah? And that was just to make it everything basic. So my idea was make everything as basic as possible. I haven't even my tables, they don't even have auto columns. I'm actually going to put the column number or IDs in them. So it's pretty much saying connector class, use a JDBC class. My connection URL, I'm saying tasks is how connector multiplies multiplies itself. So I'm just saying I'm more than happy with one card. That's my user password. Don't try that password. That's not the correct password. The table or tables we want to pick up, I'm saying I want to pick up a table called customer. The mode is incrementing, and then you need to do an incrementing on this column called ID. So each time the ID changes, I need to know, get the data for me. And then we're going to say pretty much, sorry, my mouse died. So then pretty much what we're saying is, for the topic name prefix, I want to be called at Latency Oracle. So most of the connectors are going to look the same. So maybe we'll go in more details with the first few, and then we might just skip on a few more. Yep, happy with that? Cool. So I already created the table. I've already created the topic so that there are no errors. And then because in midway, we're going to run S3 as well to see data at the other side. So it's better if the topics are there. Otherwise, S3 is going to fail. S3 connector is going to fail. Cool. Let's go. Oh, sorry. Need to copy the command. So what I've done is pretty much this command we're going to publish. So the first few we're going to do is using the REST API of Connect, which pretty much saying post this method and post this, and then to localhost connector, to localhost 8083. That's where my connector is running, and then that's the file that we have. Cool. How am I doing by time? Okay, not too bad. So there you go. Hopefully, yay, works. No. Okay. Sorry. We don't know it's working or not yet, right? But I mean, you can go and look at the logs, like I said, but we don't want to. So what we can do is instead, we're going to run a local consumer on the machine. So pretty much this. So forget the first part. I'm just going to, so like I said, everything is an Avro. So I'm going to use an Avro consumer here, which says, look at the Bootstrap server, which is the URL where Kafka is running, and then grab everything from this topic called Latency Oracle Customer. Cool. So there you go. And hopefully nothing comes. Oh, I think I missed something maybe. Sorry. My bad. Need to break it. Cool. Nothing is coming because we're not publishing anything. So if we go in here, what I've created this two connections. This one is the Oracle one, which we're doing. I just want to reconnect just to make sure it's working. So can you guys see that? Yep, cool. I mean, it's hidden, but hopefully you can see it. So what I've done is there's a simple table called customer that has a field called ID, which you're going to look for increments at customer name as well as where it's from, like a source. So each database, I've just added a field called source where, where we can actually see where the data is coming from, so that you know that I'm not faking. It's actually working. So hopefully that connection. Okay, still cool. So once that comes up, so I'm gonna publish. Cool. Reset. That's fine by me. Come on. Sorry, I was told I should record because you never know what's gonna go wrong. Hopefully it's nothing wrong. I think it's just because I resetted the connection. Shouldn't have maybe. So we're gonna publish some data. So it says it's inserted. I'm just gonna double check. So we're just gonna add more data. Come on, clean up. Cool. So just gonna add 3 records, and by the time we go back, we should have that on our terminal. Oh, it's not there. Cool. Just waiting. Sorry, no idea why it's not working. I mean, maybe. Let's try everything. Weird. Cool. What I'm going to do instead, just in case. Yes, data still not there. So apologies. Should have worked. Don't know why it's not working. Actually, yeah. Okay, cool. So just make sure it's not Oracle that's doing that for me. Yeah, there you go. So, okay, so what it really does is, so if I go back, so it actually doesn't print the ID column because I've asked it to use it just for metadata and not actually publish the data for me. And then all these customers now we can see on the terminal. So I guess it was just it was waiting on the commit. Shoo, first one done. So now pretty much this database is actually, thank you. I had my heartbeat up too high. But anyway, so that's working. So we know that. So we're going to move on to the next one. And then, sorry, let's pick, ooh, should I pick? OK, so what I'm going to do is, I'm in the background. I'm just going to reset this connection just to make sure. And then we'll do some other one instead in the meantime. So reconnect, just in case it's doing something else. So while that's doing in the background, without further ado, let's get Mongo in. Who likes Mongo? Anybody? Mongo fan? Yeah? Yeah, good. Cool. So what I've done is, for Mongo, I found this, what is it called? Atlas, they had this free version where I could just create a MongoDB, and then I've hooked up this into my system. Yep, fair enough? Cool. So again, looking at the configurations. So connector class, it's a Mongo source connector. That's my connection URL, tasks, database name, collection, topic prefix, latency Mongo, and then the batch and the milliseconds and everything. So, so I've done Mongo a bit different, and I'll show you how. So Mongo is pretty much doing the entire CDC on it. So if we're gonna do a delete, if we're gonna do a insert, we're gonna actually see that, and there's gonna be flag associated to it. So you're pretty much gonna grab that, put it onto the terminal again, if you can find it. There you go. And that Mongo file is there. So hopefully, cool. Hopefully that's working. Again, we're gonna do the same thing. Again, it's writing in Avro format, so I'm gonna just pick it up, which again pretty much says Avro console consumer. That's my bootstrap URL. From the beginning, get everything that's in the topic. So we might get a few things that I published yesterday, but hopefully we can see some live data streamed as well. OK, doesn't like that. Cool. I think it's some problem with line breaks or something. Cool. So, but again, come on. Bear with me. Mouse started not to work as well. So yeah. And then in the terminal, we're just going to clear. Going to clear everything up. Going to paste that in, and thank you. I knew you guys going to help. Oh, yeah, OK. Cool. So, oopsie. Sorry. Sure. Cool. So, yeah, something from the background, and we're going to publish something new to it. Just press and enter, just to get some space. So we're going to duplicate this record, copy that, change test to test 1 maybe, insert. There you go. And then just going to create another copy. Cool, cool. But you'll get the idea, like what I'm trying to do. There you go. That's more data coming in now. And then very quickly, if I delete something, I'm going to see. So if you go here, if we delete a record, that becomes an actual new event in Kafka, which it would actually say, I've deleted a record instead. In a second, there you go. And somewhere in here, they should be saying, actually, this record got deleted. Yeah, so far so good? Yes, no, maybe? Cool. So that's 2. So hopefully we can get through all of them. So what now I'm going to do is I'm going to stop that. And then while that's happening in the background, we're going to spin up the S3 one so that I don't have to, run back and forth the console commands. We can actually see some data coming into S3. So the S3 config file is a bit big. So, and I'll explain to you why. So, so I've mentioned all the table names. There are a few missing here, but in the actual file in there, it had mentioned all the topics we're going to have. And then it's a S3 connector, the region, the bucket I want to get it into, path sizes, and then really quickly, because all of them are based on Avro converters, their schemas are already in Confluent, in the schema registry for me, so I've just said, hey, schema registry is there, go and use it. Cool. And then, as I've been told, again, second week in S3, that the path format, you actually have to see how you're going to format your data into it. So that's my connector, and that's pretty much it. Again, I'm just going to grab that command from here, and then we will see what happens. Cool. Hopefully that's working. We're not going to go there now. So just so that we can finish off others quickly as well, and then we'll go to S3 straight away just to see actually all the data is coming through. There you go. Sorry. So what's next? So we can get SQL from here. There you go. So SQL, pretty much the same thing we did to our Oracle. It's open at the same place. We're just creating a new connector for SQL and putting it into a new topic. It's terminal. There you go. And cool. So, and then if I go back, hopefully the connection has reset. Okay, so I wanted to do a live query on the data as well. That's why I know there's a lot of prices in latency. So what I did was I created a separate column on this table, which has called flag, which pretty much is which pretty much has for some people a name called winner, and then we can do a live query on the stream afterwards. Yeah, no idea what's taking a while, but I can smash all of them straight away. Like actually doing it is just executing those commands. I really wanted to explain, so that's why it's a bit there. So hopefully it's going to get there. So in the meantime, it's just the internet most likely. So we're done. Okay, MongoView, it's done. So SQLite 3. So with SQLite 3, cool. So with SQLite 3, Confluent Platform already comes with that. SQLite 3, they already have a connector built for it. So instead of using REST, I thought it's best if I actually just use that for us. And then that's the file where my configs are written. So I'm actually going to show you the file. Let's go, oopsie, sorry, terminal. There you go. If I do that, so that's the file, because it's not a REST call. It's just properties again. So name of the connector, the connector class we're going to use, the connection URL, which is all local, and then again, same column, same ID, but I think it's a bit different table though. So go back, sure, cool. So, but the command is a bit different for it, so we're going to go load. So that's to load a connector. Okay, so that's asking for password. Come on, where did it go? Apparently, there was somewhere. Cool. So, apologies. Terminal. There you go. Cool. So that's loaded as well. And then because it's here, just here, test it, I can pretty much go SQLite 3. Oh, come on. Oops. Oh, no, I don't want that. Kill. Cool. DB. Sure. So, and then I'm just going to grab the code written here. Would have been easier if my mouse would have showed to work today, but that's okay. So, and then we go back to the terminal. We publish this. Bang. Just going to do ls1 instead. Cool. So while I return, I'll just go here. There you go. What's happening? There you go. Yeah. So close. Yeah. What? Cool. So almost out of time. Done most of it, I guess. So it must be getting published in the background. There you go. Session reset. Wow. Just now. Okay. Whatever. Almost 7, but again, so we haven't finished. I think there's only 1 left to it. Anybody counting? Good. Yes, we have done all 7. Like I said, I'm gonna publish these to you. I can publish the configs to you, and hopefully, if I refresh here, please, data be here. Yes! Yay! Yeah, cool. So that's 6. There's only one left, which is in file 1. So I can pretty much publish a command as well if you want, but you'll be like, oh, it's too boring. Sorry, I'll just finish it. Grab in 10, 20 seconds. The only takeaway I want to do is think of your systems in event streaming. Don't wait for batches. Someone doing demo for the first time. You guys were really good. You didn't do ooh, which is good. Thank you. One left. I think Kinesis is that. Actually, you want to do Kinesis end to end, but that's fine. We can do it. You can buy coffee. I can show you how to do it. It's totally fine with me. But thank you very much. You've been a lovely audience, and that's me. Thank you.